Good evening. Of course, Unai Emery makes his dramatic return to the Premier League, this time at the hands of Aston Villa. Of course, can he turn them into European contenders? And of course, can he actually save them first from the drop? We're going to take a look at that and more. No! That's right, folks, back once again on a prediction video. Today we look forward to match number, 13, 14, whatever it is, over the Premier League, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you know where you're being, smash the old subscribe button and bang it. All things Halloween related, Premier League related, World Cup related, later this year. Goodness gracious me. Yes, the talk of the town is over at Villa Park, of course. Good evening. Unai Emery returns, of course, to have a second go at the Premier League. He's back, he's an A-grade manager, and he's going to turn these guys into actual European contenders, whether it's this season or next season, whatever it is, they're in a safe pair of hands. I'm excited, hopefully you guys are too. Make sure you smash your subscribe, check out the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, big shout out to the VIPs, patrons, of course. But anyway, let's have a look at how we all got on, of course, this past weekend. See if you out-predicted the fox, that is me, in the box, or the wolf in the box, should I say. So here we go. I didn't get this one right, and I don't think many of you did either. Forest, 1-0 win over Liverpool, 3-0 win for me. Shit show FC. I did go with Everton though, 3-0 win it was, 2-1 win for me. Man City, 3-1 win over Brighton over Albion, 4-0 win it was in my eyes. Went with a draw between, actually it was a draw between Chelsea and United, went with a 2-1 win. Close, wasn't I? Meanwhile, Villa, 4-0 win over Brentford. That was a not Stevie Gerrard effect. That was the getting rid of the Stevie Gerrard effect. I went with a draw myself. Southampton with a draw against Arsenal, 2-0 win in my eyes. Fulham 3-2 win over Leeds, 2-1 win for me. Did shit on that, didn't I? Leicester City with a 4-0 win over Wolves, 1-1 of course for me. Excuse me. Newcastle, 2-1 winners over Spurs at their own place. And then, of course, I did get my last one there. West Ham 2, Bournemouth 0, 2-0 win in my eyes. So, take from that from what you will. I did pretty shit, I think. And we'll have a look at how I did in the Prediction League in a second. Of course, is the table, though. Arsenal still tipped at the top of the table by 2 points. Man City are, of course, in second. Spurs third. Newcastle in Champions League right now. Would you, Adam and Eve? It going down, though. Forest, Wolves, Leeds are in trouble, of course, as Leicester City make dramatic moves up the table. And they look like the real deal, of course. Let's take a longer look at the Super Brew, shall we? Not this one. We're going to jump, of course, over to the Premier League. Let's see how we're getting on over there. I don't think I did good, guys. I don't think I did absolutely good. So we shall see. It's looking grim. It's looking grim. Actually, I'm in 13th spot right now, but points-wise, yeah, down there with 5. Oh, it's grim times. If you see a name, smash your subscribe. If you don't, I'll unleash the wolf on you. But of course, kicking ass is Darren. 11 points to the ball. Well done to him. Of course, Joachim up there with 10.5. DJ Horn as well. Wembley, Ultra, all the guys are up there. Well done to all of yous for kicking my ass this past week. What about, of course, the actual leaderboard? Well, I'm actually down to 13th right now. I think I'm definitely on a downer, a Debbie Downer. The game engine is busy. We can't really see it, so what can we do? Let's do this. You can kind of get a somewhat of an indication. You can't get any indication whatsoever, but anyway, just take it from where it says I'm 13th. I'm on a downer. You might be on the way out, but of course we can't wait here. Make sure you just check it out yourselves, of course. But if you want to get involved with the Prediction League, EPL Prem, it is free, and of course you can keep an eye on your situation on your own time as well. So make sure you do just that. But we are keeping on forward with the next round of games this Halloween weekend. Technically, I'm calling it Halloween weekend. Of course, we are kicking it all off with Leicester City against Manchester City, of course, at the King Power, coming out on the 29th of October. Of course, played each other 30 times since 1984. 8 wins for Leicester, 18 wins for City, 4 draws. Of course, Leicester now just 1 defeat past 5 for them, looking good. 58% form for them right now. City, though, just 1 defeat past 6, 67% form for them at the moment. Just 1-4 as well, if you look at it a different way. Last time around, though, over at Leicester was a 1-0 win for City. That was back in September 2021. Leicester, though, pick up a 4-0 win over Wolves. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. In fact, 3 clean sheets on the spin for Leicester at the moment. Meanwhile, City, of course, with a 0-0 draw against Dortmund, most recently in the Champions League. So, of course, 70-2 is your Leicester on this one. 7-2 on is your City here. 5-1 is the draw. I'd love to see Leicester City win this one, but I can't see it. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. Manchester City bounce back ability, and of course, potentially could go top of the table at least for 24 hours. And I'm the same. Kicking forward, it is Bournemouth up against Spurs. Of course, must have bounce back needed for Spurs. Come at you over the Vitality Stadium. Played each other 12 times since 2009. 1 for Bournemouth, 9 for Spurs. 2 draws, of course. Bournemouth, though, just 1 win, 6, 40% form for them right now. Spurs, though, back-to-back defeats for them. 58% 58% form for them at the moment. Last time around, though, over at Bournemouth, it was a 0-0 draw back in July 2020. Of course, Spurs with a 2-1 loss against Newcastle, taking on, of course, Sporting Lisbon, a very important game in the Champions League tonight as well. West Ham with a 2-0 win over Bournemouth most recently. Who've gone back-to-back games now without scoring a goal. The odds here, 4-1 is your Bournemouth, 20-13 on is your Spurs, 14-5 is the draw. I do see Spurs bouncing back here, 2-0 win for them. And that, of course, could get themselves in the top four at the expense of Newcastle, Chelsea, and even Manchester United. Look at bloody Fulham. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, Brighton, Hove, Albion up against Chelsea, of course, coming at you this weekend. Played each other 12 times. Since 2012, we got 1 for Brighton, 6 for Chelsea, 5 draws. Of course, it is the Graham Potter derby. That's right. Brighton over that, winning 5, 33% form for them right now. Up against the Chelsea side, unbeaten in the last 9 games, 83% form for them right now, winning 4 of the last 6. However, last time around, over at Brighton, it was a 1-1 draw back in January 2022. In fact, 5 of the last 6 games between these two sides have ended up as draws, of course. That does include a friendly, of course. Meanwhile, Brighton with a 3-1 loss to Man City most recently. Chelsea with a big 2-1 win over Salzburg, of course. And I think that secured their Champions League status to the next round. Correct me if I'm wrong. 9-5 is your Brighton, of course. 6-4 is your away win. 23-10 is the draw. Even though there have been a lot of draws between these two sides, I do think Graham Potter will have the edge over Zebri's boys over at Brighton. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Chelsea. 3 points in the bag. And away they go. Crystal Palace up against Southampton. Played each other 38 times since 1984. We've got 11 wins for Crystal Palace. 17 wins for Southampton. 10 draws. Of course, Palace, though, 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn 2 over the last 6. However, just 1 defeat past 4 for them up against the Southampton side. Unbeaten in the last 3, 33% form for them. At the moment, last time around, over at Palace, it was a 2-2 draw back in December 2021. Palace actually 1 defeated past 4 against Southampton most recently. Southampton picking up a draw against Arsenal most recently as well. Crystal Palace with a big fat big fat L against Everton, of course. 3-0 was. Shambles, of course. 11-10 on is your Palace. 11-4 is the draw. 13-5 is the away win here. It's going to go for Palace here. They're going to bounce back surely. 2-0 win. Maybe Vieira's under a bit of pressure. Of course, just a couple of 4 points off of the drop at the moment. We'll see how they respond as well. Another team looking for a response is Brentford, taking on, of course, managerless Wolves. Played each other 12 times, 2013, 6 wins for Wolves, 4 wins for Brentford. We've got 2 draws, of course. Brentford, though, 1 win and 6, 30% form for them right now. Wolves, though, just 1 win and 6, 17% form for them at the moment. Last time around, over at Brentford, it was a 2-1 win for Wolves back in January 2022. Wolves pick up a 4-0 loss, though, to Leicester. And, of course, Brentford with a 4-0 loss to Aston Villa. Both sides looking to come back from humblings, of course. Brentford, of course, actually back-to-back games as well without scoring a goal. 23-20 is your Brentford, 12-5 is draw, 9-4 is the away win. Managerless Wolves are in trouble. I think Brentford will win this one. Just the 1-0. Just the 1-0. That's all they need. 3 points in the bag, and of course, away they go. Newcastle United up against Aston Villa, of course. Good evening, good evening. St James's Park. It is, of course, Unai Emery's return to the Premier League up against high-flying Newcastle United, who could actually go third in the table with a big fat W, of course. Played each other 52 times in 1993. 24 wins for Newcastle, 11 wins for Aston Villa, 17 draws, of course. Newcastle are winning 4 of the last 5, unbeaten in the last 6 games, 83% form for them right now. Aston Villa, they're 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost to and drawn 2 over the last 6. Of course, last time around, though, over at St James's Park, it was a 1-0 win for the Geordies. That was back in February 2022. The Wayside hasn't won this game in a long bloody time since Newcastle beat Aston Villa back in September 2013. A long time, folks. Meanwhile, Villa with a 4-0 win over Brentford. Newcastle with a big 2-1 win over Tottenham, of course, most recently. But the odds here, we have Newcastle 6-5 on for the victory, 13-5 is the draw, 3-1 is your away win. As of course, Aston Villa. I'm going with a draw here. In the end, I think Aston Villa will come. They'll park the bus. Good evening, good evening. We'll have a debut. To remember, draw, of course, going away to a difficult team. That is Newcastle United, of course. Meanwhile, Fulham up against Everton, of course, coming at you at Craven Cottage. Now, these two sides have played 34 times, 2001, 12 wins for Fulham, 19 wins for Everton. We've got 3 draws, of course. Fulham, though, unbeaten in the last 3, 58% form for them at the moment. Meanwhile, Everton, of course, won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. That's 50% form for them as well, heading into this. Last round, though, at Craven Cottage was a 3-2 win for Everton. That was back in November 2020. Everton 3-0 win over Palace most recently. Fulham with a big 3-2 win over Leeds most recently. But the odds here, we've got Fulham 13-10 for the victory, 5-2 is the draw, 90-10 is the away win. We are backing Fulham here, 1-0 win for them. That could actually put them up as high as 4th, and that's in the Champions League spots. None the same. A team that needs a win. Actually, both these two sides need a win. It is Liverpool. It is Leeds, of course, over at Anfield. Played each other 28 times since 1993. 18 wins to Liverpool, 6 wins to Leeds, 4 draws, of course. Liverpool, they're winning 4 of the last 6. 67% form for them at the moment. Of course, Leeds, though, without a win in the last 8 games, 8% form for them. They are on a cruising for a fucking bruising right now. Liverpool, of course, beat them last time round. At Anfield, 6-0 demolition job. They actually won back-to-back over Leeds, back-to-back clean sheets as well. Leeds with a 3-2 loss to Fulham most recently. And, of course, Liverpool with a 1-0 loss to Forest, of course, on this past weekend. Of course, Liverpool are in action in Champions League. Hopefully they'll whet their appetite against Ajax, I think. Of course, 3-1 on is your Liverpool here. 4-1 draw. 8-1 is your long shots. Back in Liverpool here to respond. 3-0 win. It might even be 5. They might take it out on poor Leeds, none the same. Meanwhile, Arsenal up against Nottingham Forest, of course. Can Forest do a monster double over this past week and a bit, of course? Played each other 12 times in 1984, 7 wins for Arsenal, 3 for Forest, 2 draws, of course. Arsenal, though, 90% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 6 games. Up against the Forest side, just 1 defeat past 4, 33% form for them at the moment. Last time played each other, of course, was at the City Ground. It was in the FA Cup, it was last season, and of course, Forest were a championship side when they beat Arsenal, none the same. However, last time played each other in the league over at with Arsenal hosting was way back in August 1998, 2-1 win it was for Arsenal, none the same. Of course, Arsenal with the draw against Southampton, Forest with a big 1-win win of Liverpool, back-to-back clean sheets for Forest heading into this. 3-1 is not the odds. It's 11-2 on is your Arsenal, 6-1 to draw, 11-1 is the away win. I'd love to see Forest get the double here or get some momentum under the wings. 2-0 win there for me for Arsenal for this, 3 points in the bag. And then wrapping up, it is Manchester United against West Ham United over at Old Trafford. Now these two sides have played 61 times since 1993, 37 wins for Manchester United, 9 wins for West Ham. We've got 15 draws, of course. Man United, though, unbeaten in the last 6 games, 83% form for them right now. West Ham, though, just 1 defeat in the past 6, 75% form for them at the moment, of course. Last time around, though, in the Premier League over at Old Trafford was a 1-0 win for Man United. That was back in January 2022. Manchester United took on Chelsea most recently. They drew 1-1, of course, taking on the Sheriff over in the Europa Conference League, or whatever the heck their league they're in right now. Of course, Bournemouth did lose to West Ham most recently. They would take on Silkeborg this weekend, as both sides are in European action. 6-4 on is Manchester United, 3-1 draw, 7-2 is the away win right here, right now, guys. And of course, I'm back in Manchester United here at home, the David Moyes derby, going 3-1 win for them, and that can actually put them up as high as 3rd in the table, depending on what goes on elsewhere. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. Chelsea will actually leapfrog over United and Newcastle up to 4th in the table, pushing the Geordies down as low as 6th after a draw against Aston Villa. Meanwhile, Leeds, Wolves and Forest still down, but all on 9 points, entering into the next weekends of games. So, of course, that is all I've got for you. Make sure you smash your subscribe, but of course, make sure you check out the link here, Cutley/EPL Prem. That's what I've got for you to look forward to. And of course, it is Halloween weekend, so be safe out there. Make sure you smash your subscribe. Of course, can Klopp's boys get back to winning ways? Can good evening pick up, of course, a first win of the campaign under his new management? We'll see all about that and more this weekend. And of course, it's scary out there. Be safe. Make sure you watch when you cross the road and watch out for the candy. You never know what's in the candy bag this Halloween day.